Hey y'all, welcome back to the newest episode of Trails in the Sky.
And now we're gonna explore the airship.
Yep, as you remember last time, we encountered the Kapuas. Or specifically, this is Kyle.
Wow, it's pretty barren here. There's not a piece of cargo left.
Evidently, the Sky Bandits managed to make off with it all. At least, judging by the looks of things.
At any rate, we should do a thorough investigation of the place. It looks like this is the captain's seat. If these were any other circumstances, I would love to sit here.
Don't even think about it.
Here's the steering wheel used to pilot the ship. I wonder where the pilot could have gone. Oh. This is kind of fun. A little extra seating. Oh. It's bright in here. There's a lot of light shining into this place. We checked it over, but it looks like there's nobody inside.
There's a high possibility the passengers are transferred to the Sky Bandits airship. And then to wherever their hideout is.
Agreed. But this sucks! Right when I thought we had some clues, we're back to zero. Come on, cheer up already. It's not like every clue has completely vanished. Why do you think the Sky Bandits hid the airliner in a place like this? Huh? As far as I can tell, the orbital energy in the ship has completely stopped, which means that the orbital engine was stripped from the aircraft. I know this because the orbital energy in orbit gradually recharges over time. Furthermore, the Sky Bandits made multiple trips to carry off a large amount of cargo. Considering the time and risk involved, don't you think it would have been more effective just to take the entire airliner to their hideout? Yeah, that does seem a little odd that they didn't. So why did they hide the airliner here then? All I can think of is that they did it in order to...
Oh, give me a second.
I know what the answer is, and I know what I want the answer to be.
I'm assuming it's 2 or 5.
I'm assuming it's 4.
Oh.
Why would the army go searching in a mine? The army missed the mine.
And see, I was thinking it was, I actually think metagame knowledge, I remember it's 5.
I think it literally is 5, but I think the answer is 4.
I'm saying 5. You can pick something else if you want.
I'm gonna pick 4. It's true the airliner is rather large and easily seen, and in that sense it would seem highly likely that they would leave it in a different place than their hideout. However, that alone couldn't be considered a decisive reason. From my guess, I would imagine their hideout is in a slightly peculiar place.
Bam.
Maybe 10 to 15 arga in size. In short, a peculiar place on which only a small aircraft like the Sky Bandits airship could land. Interesting.
How about terrain covered with extreme differences in height, like mountains and ravines? It seems like a likely place for the Sky Bandits' hideout.
Yes, that's what I've been thinking too. However, if that's the case, then we may be unable to do anything else. Thank you for letting me do the wrong answer.
No problem.
There's the possibility that their hideout may be in a place we can't reach by foot. Then what can we do? Well, I hate to say it, but we may have to share our conclusions with the army and ask for their cooperation. Because they're the ones with the patrol ships. What? Now you're trying to tell me we should go crawling back to the army and ask them for help?
Either way, we still have to report to them about the airliner. Personally speaking, I still think we should cooperate with the army, whatever their attitude might be. Especially if that means bringing the hostages back safe and sound.
I guess you're right. This isn't the time or place to be letting my personal feelings get the best of me. For the time being, let's get back to the guild and report our findings to Lugran. We should be able to contact the Hacking Gate if we use the orbital telephone.
Oh, I guess y'all get to watch our walk back.
No fast travel here, boys. Huh? What the heck?
Oh, great. Now this was something I didn't expect.
I wonder if I should be glad, since they've saved us the trouble of having to contact them.
We have found a suspicious armed group. Put your hands in the air, all of you. What's this world coming to? A woman and 2 kids are the Sky Bandits? Well, the girl does look shifty.
Hey now, that's just rude! And who are you calling Sky Bandits? Can't you see the shiny emblem on my chest?
Bracer emblem, eh? I hope you don't think for a moment something like that proves her innocence.
General Morgan?
Why are you here? After looking over the reports of my men, I found this place to have been insufficiently investigated, so I came to see for myself. Who would have thought a lot of you were conspiring with the Sky Bandits?
Might I get you to stop with the accusations, General? We happen to find this place one step ahead of your men.
If that's the truth, why don't you tell me where the Sky Bandits are? Are the hostages inside that airliner? We almost had the Sky Bandits, but they managed to escape. And there are no hostages to be found here. Looks like the truth has come out. Most likely, you notified the Sky Bandits to let them know we were coming!
Well, wait a minute here! How about you cut with the crap?
My thoughts exactly! Alright, men, take them into custody. The General will be questioning you himself on the morrow. If your innocence is proven, then you will be released in 2 or 3 days. So for the time being, this cell will give you a place to cool your heels.
This is not even funny. Tossing us in a place like this without even listening to a word we have to say?
If the army managed to arrest the Sky Bandits, then I'm sure we'd have our names cleared. But with the way things are at the moment, that may not be possible.
Huh? Why not?
You remember what the Sky Bandit leader we fought in the old mine said, right? He said, "This can't be right. You're not supposed to be here this early," if I remember correctly.
Now that you mention it, he did say that, didn't he? You're not trying to tell me that he meant the army by that, are you?
I don't know for sure, but I bet that's what he meant. Which means that...
The Sky Bandits have a mole in the army. Or a collaborator who is leaking information. That's what you wanted to say, isn't it, Joshua?
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, they'll never get caught. Which means we were the only ones that stood a chance of nabbing them. But now we're stuck in here. I wonder how your father would get around this little setback.
My. Well, don't you all seem to be in a bit of a fix?
Huh? Did you just say something, Joshua?
No, I didn't say anything.
It came from the cell next door. It almost sounds familiar.
Oh, how could you say something so heartless? My lustrous voice should be recognizable to anyone.
Could this unfounded self-confidence
and tone of absurd narcissism belong to...
It's you, isn't it, Olivier?
Aha! You do remember my dulcet chords! To think that we'd meet again in a place like this. It seems that we are bound by destiny.
Well, why are you here? I thought we took you to Bose. And now you're locked up in a place like this? What the heck did you do?
Oh, come now. Let's not worry about all the little details, shall we? I have my reasons, which are deeper than the deepest ocean, and higher than the highest peak.
I'm definitely not asking now. I'm sure we'd just get tired while you talked our ears off.
What a coincidence, Estelle. I was just thinking the same thing.
So there you have it. We don't really care to know. You talk so much that I'd probably be an old woman by the time you were done, and I'm not ready for wrinkles yet.
Come on now, let's not be like that. I'll fill you in on all the details of the tragic incident which befell me.
Didn't you listen, dummy? We don't want to hear about it.
It all began after we parted ways. I did some window shopping in the Bose Market, and then moved on to the Anterose restaurant. You see, once I had eaten to my heart's content, I began to play the grand piano to then feed my autistic soul. And upon doing so, the restaurant manager was overcome by my skill. So I was asked to stay and work as the professional pianist for the restaurant.
That's great and all, but I thought you were supposed to be a lutist.
Ha! A musical genius is not limited to just one instrument. Anyway, back to my story. After negotiating a few of my own conditions, I accepted the job offer. Those conditions were, of course, food and wine for free every day instead of Mira. I don't know how to put it, but that's very you, Olivier. Yet, I'm not sure how that has anything to do with you getting thrown in jail. Well, this is where the real Staub story begins. That night, I had been enjoying a plate of sautéed duck I'd had the chef prepare. But the blood sauce which had been used was a bit too overbearing for my palate. Consequently, I began to feel that normal red wine was not satisfying enough.
The more you talk, the more I want to hit you. But go on, I'm curious, in spite of knowing better.
Well, so I borrowed a bottle of wine, which seemed good, from the cellar. Something called Grand Chardonnay from the year 1183.
Grand Chardonnay? From the year 1183? That's the legendary vintage wine that was auctioned off in the Royal City.
Oh, well, aren't you well informed? I'd heard a rumor about it too, so of course I was interested in having a drink for myself.
Auctioned off? How much are we talking about here?
From what I heard, it went for somewhere in the neighborhood of 500,000 Mira.
500,000 Mira? For just one bottle?
That's out of this world. And you didn't. Did you, Olivier? Aha! Such a needless question. Of course I opened the bottle and had a sip. Its sweet-smelling fragrance tickled my nostrils. Its luxurious, mellow taste caressed my throat. And can you believe what else? A rose-tinted vignette of time and space existed within that very bottle.
I don't think I can listen to this any longer.
Yeah, my ears are bleeding from listening to such stupidity.
I'm completely dumbfounded.
The sad thing is that after taking a sip of such excellent wine, I began to feel the food was lacking. And as I was having the chef cook me up something else to match the wine, the restaurant manager returned. Since I'm not a stingy fellow, I cordially invited for him to join me for a drink. But for some odd reason, he got rather upset. In fact, he got so steaming mad that his face looked like a ripe tomato. And before I could say another word, a group of soldiers came filing in. And, well, one thing led to another, and I can't say another word about this tragedy of being dragged all the way here without coming to tears. So let us all weep together as you sympathize with my dilemma.
Idiot.
Pardon? But do my ears deceive me? I could have sworn I heard a zzz and even a assuredly misheard idiot coming from your cell. Are you listening? This is where the story gets really interesting. You see, several further trials awaited me after I was brought here. Hello? Are you listening? Hey, you three, get up!
I'm tired.
What's wrong?
What? Are you trying to tell us we're being interrogated this early in the morning? That's a little early even for me.
No, it's just the opposite. You're being released.
Huh? Well, why all of a sudden?
Is there a reason for this?
Yes, I'd like to consider myself that reason.
Mimir Meebel?
Well, what an unusual place to be meeting you.
I'm really sorry about everything that's happened to you, but don't worry, your names have been cleared.
I don't completely agree with everything, but there's a request coming from Maybelle herself. You better remember to thank her.
So you mean Mayor Maybelle stood up on our behalf? No, that's not exactly it. I just explained your situation to General Morgan.
Our situation?
Yes. I have one question for the both of you. Are you really the children of Cassius Bright? Yes, that's right. This is Estelle Bright, and I'm his adopted son, Joshua. I see. Now that you mention it, the girl does slightly resemble Lena.
You knew my mother?
Yes, I enjoyed your mother's cooking on several occasions when I visited your home in Roll. Why, in fact, we even met once when you were just a baby.
Now wait just a minute. You're a personal acquaintance of my dad's? I know that he was in the military before, but...
I don't know Cassius Bright the Bracer. The only Cassius I know is the one from the service. He was a rare strategist.
Strategist? Dad?
I just can't imagine what he saw in the Bracer Guild. It makes me angry just thinking about it. You'll have to excuse me.
Well, what's wrong with him?
It seems like your father was a brilliant officer in the military. I've heard from the general that he tried several times to get your father to change his mind about retiring.
I didn't know that. Somehow it feels hard to believe.
However, if that's the case, the general's hatred for bracers may stem from Cassius leaving the army, from the vexation of being left by one of his most promising men.
I get the same impression.
So what you're saying is, our lives are such a pain because of Dad? That dirty, rotten scoundrel!
How about we return to Bose now? With the airliner being found, the situation has taken a new turn. So there are a number of things I'd like to discuss with you.
Oh, sure.
Is something the matter?
I'm definitely ready to get out of here, but it feels like we're forgetting something.
Now that you mention it.
What could it be?
Oh, how callous people can be at times. How could you forget about a companion who spent the night with you in a cold, hard cell? How lamentable, how pitiful. Fine, be that way. I shall wither away, friendless and hungry, alone in this dark purgatory.
Is he still here?
Yeah, I completely forgot about him.
I'm sorry to say this, but there's not much we can do for you.
Is he the musician I heard about? The one who chugged that bottle of Grand Chardonnay without a second thought?
Ha! Indeed, that is I. Yet, my fair lass, I would be heartbroken if you took my intentions the wrong way. For, you see, I perceived it as an advance payment for the exquisite services that I was about to render.
You're quite the interesting character. All right, I'll see what I can do to bargain with the general for your release.
Really? Truly? You would do such a kind service for a man such as myself?
I think that may be asking a bit much.
If the restaurant takes this to trial, there's going to be at least a lawsuit. Well, there's no need to worry about that. You see, the owner of the restaurant is me.
Huh?
And that Grand Chardonnay was the very one I bid on. That being the case, I'm fairly confident there won't be any other problems over the matter.
Oh, that's convenient.
I can't believe you were released.
It's like a stroke of bad luck.
Ha ha ha! Please, don't lay on the compliment so thick. However, it pains my soul that I partook of such fine wine without paying a single Mira. Shall I play the piano in the restaurant per our contract to remedy that?
I think I'm going to have to pass on that. After what happened, I think it would be a bit awkward having you back there.
I, for one, don't think he'd mind a bit.
Yeah, he sure does seem to have some thick skin.
Let's just think of this as an unfortunate incident for the both of us.
But I don't think I could just let things go like this. Let's see. It seems you're investigating something at the moment, right? How about I lend my assistance in return for the wine?
Huh?
Well, that does sound interesting. Could I ask you to join these bracers in their work?
How could you ever? So it's settled. Let our new working relationship bloom like a magnolia at the heart of spring.
Hold on a sec.
we do to deserve this?
Your general weirdness aside, simply having an amateur like you around is going to honestly be a pain. Are you confident you won't be a drag on our work? Or our sanity?
Well, I'm somewhat confident in my marksmanship and magic. But of course, I'd be distressed if you tried to list my music genius in the same group.
That's the kind of line that gets me really worried.
But maybe we could use an extra hand. As long as we can't count on the army to help us out, I have the feeling that we'll be short on manpower.
Well, alright then. We'll use you for what you're worth. However, if we do happen to conclude that you're not worth your weight, you're dumped from the party. Are you going to be okay with that?
Of course I don't mind. I'd never let you down, so please be reassured.
Well, my expectations of you are pretty much at rock bottom anyway, so I know you won't let me down.
I'm glad things are settled between you all. But before you go, there's something I need to tell you.
Tell us?
Actually, the town did seem pretty noisy as we were headed here. What happened? Truth be told, last night there was a large-scale burglary in Bose's South Block. The weapon shop and Orbital factory were targeted, as were a number of private residences.
What?
So, was this the work of the Sky Bandits?
It's unknown at this time, but it seems highly probable. A unit of the Royal Army is currently conducting an investigation. I see. Guess we better do an investigation of our own then. Yes, I'd like to formally request that you do just that. I'll send a payment over to the guild for the work you've done so far. Please make use of the money for your current investigation expenses.
I have a feeling that the army's gonna get in our way again. But I guess when that happens, it happens.
Whether they get in our way or not, I don't think we should be forthcoming with the army about any information we come across. Because if there was really a spy in their midst, they'll just leak it to the Sky Bandits.
Though I'm reluctant to say it, I also think it's for the best to keep quiet about our findings. Anyway, let's act with prudence.
Alrighty, my bosom companions. Shall we head to the South Block?
Look, buddy, who made you king of the show?
And I think we might want to leave it there, and we'll do some off-camera work making sure Olivier's orbment is okay, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, sounds good to me. This is Hella Alone signing off.
Have a good one.